For nearly 50 years, the story was settled. One of the two Mustangs from Steve McQueen's Bullitt had been destroyed. The other had vanished. McQueen himself tried to buy one back and was refused. Then a New Jersey garage and a Mexican junkyard rewrote what many call the greatest barn find in automotive history. But to understand why these cars mattered, you have to go back to 1968. In October 1968, Warner Brothers released a gritty detective thriller that fundamentally reshaped action cinema. Directed by Peter Yates, Bullitt was a passion project for its star and producer, Steve McQueen, who controlled the production down to the smallest detail through his company, Solar Productions. McQueen wanted raw realism over comfortable studio stagecraft, choosing to shoot entirely on location on the steep, unforgiving asphalt of San Francisco. The centerpiece of this raw approach was a furious car chase lasting nearly 11 minutes. Stunt drivers Kerry Lofton and Bud Ekins, alongside McQueen himself, pushed a Highland Green Mustang GT390 and a rival black Dodge Charger to speeds exceeding 110 miles per hour, launching over the city's famous blind crests. Rather than relying on standard rear projection tricks, Yates mounted cameras low to the chassis and inside the vehicles, placing the audience directly in the path of the roaring engines and tire smoke. The impact of this sequence was immediate. Editor Frank Keller took hours of chaotic, high-speed film and cut it into a masterpiece of tension, earning the Academy Award for Best Film Editing at the 1969 ceremony. Keller's work set a brand new standard for physical action storytelling. The chase became the blueprint for action cinema, establishing a visual language that Hollywood directors would spend the next 6 decades trying to copy. Warner Brothers ordered 2 identical Highland Green 1968 Ford Mustang GT390 fastbacks directly from Ford, carrying sequential vehicle identification numbers 8R02S25558 and 8R02S1225559. Under the hood, both featured Ford's potent 390 cubic inch V8 engine producing 325 horsepower, paired with a 4-speed manual transmission. But once on the studio lot, the production team split the identical twins into a highly specialized 2-machine system. Chassis 559 became the designated hero vehicle. This car was kept in pristine cosmetic condition, reserved for static beauty shots, close-up interior angles, and scenes where Steve McQueen himself was behind the wheel. Chassis 558 was the stunt car, modified to endure severe physical punishment. Fabricators welded steel reinforcements to the chassis, strengthened the front shock towers, and installed heavy-duty Coney shocks with thick coil springs to survive the punishing jumps over San Francisco's concrete crests. They also welded camera mount tubes directly to the rocker panels to secure heavy filming equipment. To make these 2 distinct machines look identical on screen, the crew stripped the factory exterior chrome, removed the GT emblems, and blacked out the front grills. Both fastbacks were then fitted with matching gray American racing torque thrust wheels, completing the clean, aggressive aesthetic before filming commenced. Principal photography on the chase commenced in late April 1968, turning the steep residential grids of San Francisco into a high-risk laboratory. For 3 weeks, the production crew cordoned off ordinary neighborhoods, pushing the heavily prepared Mustangs and their rival Dodge Charger to speeds exceeding 110 miles per hour down public streets. There were no green screens, no digital safety nets, and no computer-generated physics. Every bone-jarring leap over the concrete crests was entirely real, punishing the reinforced suspensions with every high-speed landing. Steve McQueen, an accomplished racer, personally occupied the cockpit for many of the high-speed passes, maneuvering the Mustang through tight corners with a camera bolted directly to the rocker panels just inches from the pavement. This extreme low-angle perspective captured the raw physical reality of the asphalt rushing beneath the chassis. The brutal filming schedule left the stunt car structurally compromised, its body panels battered and its chassis warped, damage so severe that Warner Brothers assumed the vehicle was destined for the scrap heap. While the battered stunt car vanished from official records, the pristine hero car passed quietly into private hands. Warner Brothers sold chassis 559 to studio employee Robert Ross. By 1970, the Mustang had traveled east, purchased by New Jersey police detective Frank Maranca. Then, in 1974, a simple classified ad in Road and Track caught the eye of Robert Kiernan, who bought the fastback for $6,000 to serve as a daily driver for his wife, quickly adding thousands of miles to the odometer. 3 years later, the Kiernan family received an unexpected letter. Steve McQueen had tracked down the vehicle, writing a personal plea to buy it back. McQueen offered to find Kiernan a replacement Mustang, stating he wanted to keep the movie car in his own collection. Kiernan politely refused the Hollywood star's request. That refusal locked the car away, turning a famous piece of cinema history into a closely guarded family secret. Robert Kiernan drove the Highland Green Fastback daily to his insurance job through the mid-1970s, accumulating thousands of ordinary miles on the street. The vehicle served as a daily family workhorse rather than a Hollywood trophy. By 1980, mounting mechanical failures and a broken odometer forced the Mustang off the road. Kiernan parked the car inside his New Jersey garage, rolling down the door on the movie car. For nearly 40 years, the family kept the car's identity entirely secret. They quietly turned away persistent collectors and movie fans, choosing private preservation over public fame. The Mustang survived precisely because it withdrew from the world, transitioning from a film prop into a shared family responsibility. When Robert passed away in 2014, his son, Sean Kiernan, inherited the vehicle and took over its stewardship. Along with the metal came a quiet, multi-generational promise to protect the dormant machine and decide when, if ever, its long silence should end. In 2017, a Mexicali mechanic named Ralph Garcia purchased a severely rusted 1968 Mustang Fastback from a scrap lot near Los Cabos, southern Baja California. Garcia, who specialized in building custom Mustang replicas, planned to strip the shell and transform it into another tribute car. But as his team began cutting away layers of degraded metal and fresh paint, Garcia noticed anomalies. The chassis featured heavy-duty reinforced shock towers, a massive 9-inch rear axle, and structural weld points that had no place on a standard production fastback. Suspicious of the car's origins, Garcia paused the build to search for answers. Garcia reached out to Kevin Marty, the founder of Marty Auto Works. Marty held the exclusive license to Ford's classic-era production database, an archive capable of tracing any Ford vehicle from the 1960s. Marty traveled to Baja California Sur to inspect the rusted shell in person. He cross-referenced the stamped vehicle identification number, 8R02S125558, against original factory build sheets. The records confirmed that this specific chassis was indeed one of the two Highland Green Fastbacks shipped to Warner Brothers in 1968. The rusted frame was the stunt car, surviving 50 years of presumed destruction. In January 2018, Sean Kiernan rolled the unrestored Hero Mustang onto the stage at the North American International Auto Show in Detroit. Side by side with Ford's newest tribute, its public emergence confirmed that both original movie cars had survived. 2 years later, in January 2020, Kiernan drove the Highland Green Fastback onto the Mecum auction block in Kissimmee, Florida. Bidding escalated rapidly without a reserve price. The gavel fell at $3,740,000, making it the most expensive Mustang ever sold at public auction. The record-shattering sale placed the car among the most valuable American production vehicles in history. Today, these legendary Mustangs are no longer ghosts. They stand as proof that history is never truly lost. Their survival proves the greatest treasures still wait in the dark. What do you think is still out there? Let us know in the comments.